Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a story that honestly feels like it was ripped straight out of a Hollywood movie script. But it's real. It's a completely true, practical masterclass in resilience. We're going to break down the anatomy of a massive dream, the very harsh reality of failure, and the mechanics of a genuine, against all odds comeback.
So it all starts with a heavy question. What happens when the world laughs at your biggest dream? Like, literally mocks you for it. We're exploring that by following the journey of a young, incredibly poor village boy. Initially, he's introduced to us as Max, though as this journey of struggle and triumph unfolds, he became known as Arjun. He faced exactly this scenario, a towering, seemingly impossible dream met with absolute mockery. Let's look at exactly how he handled it.
Section 1. A Boy and His Dream.
Picture this. You've got this young village boy standing out in a sprawling green field. The sky above is painted with these gorgeous sunset colors, and he's just staring up with this look of absolute pure hope. What's he looking at? An airplane soaring high across the sky. He watched these planes every single day. And every single day, he dreamed of just one thing, becoming a pilot.
But here's the harsh reality, and it's a really painful one. While his head was up in the clouds, his feet were firmly planted in severe, grinding poverty. His family could barely afford food, let alone flight school. And because of this massive disconnect between his daily survival and his towering ambition, people laughed. They mocked him. They couldn't believe he dreamed so big when he had absolutely nothing. It really highlights that first major hurdle of any ambitious path, right? Overcoming the external noise and the skepticism of everyone around you.
Section 2. The struggle in the dark. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how he handled his total lack of resources. You see, while the rest of the village was fast asleep in their warm beds, Arjun was wide awake. His home had absolutely no electricity. None. Zero. So what do? Well, to fuel his dream, he took his books outside. He sat out there in the dark village studying for hours under the harsh flickering glow of a single street lamp. He's got books and notes scattered all around him, solving complex problems while the whole world around him is just sleeping. That right there is what raw, unglamorous dedication looks like.
Section 3. The Crushing Failure.
So, after all those cold nights under the streetlight, Arjun finally applies for a scholarship. This was it. This was his one ticket out, his one real chance to get closer to the sky. And he failed. Imagine that. It's a dark, rainy day, and Arjun is sitting there completely alone, just staring at that failed exam result in his hand. The disappointment is absolutely crushing. After giving everything he had, actually, scratch that, after giving more than he had, he fell short. He felt completely broken, and in that moment, he truly, genuinely wanted to just quit. But this is where we see the true anatomy of his resilience, broken down into 3 crucial steps. Step 1, he allowed himself to feel broken. And it's a completely natural response to want to throw in the towel when you hit a concrete wall. But the key is, he didn't stay at step 1. He moved to step 2. He remembered the dream. He went right back to that mental image of the airplane in the sunset sky. He anchored himself to his ultimate why, and that forced him into step 3, the conscious decision to try again. He didn't just passively hope for better luck next time. He actively decided to re-enter the arena.
Section 4. The dawn of a comeback.
Let's move to and see how this builds his timeline. He completely optimized his life for this one single goal. Before the sun was even up, he was awake. He was at his desk at dawn, the sunrise just breaking in the background. Every single day, he studied tirelessly, and he sustained this grueling grind for an entire year. He never missed a single opportunity to learn. He literally took the painful sting of that failed exam and converted it into an unstoppable momentum.
Section 5. Taking Flight.
Fast forward to the very next year, Arjun sits for that exact same scholarship exam, the one that completely broke him the year prior. But this time, the outcome was entirely different. He didn't just barely scrape by, he completely crushed it. He passed with the highest marks possible. All those long nights under the street lamp and those freezing early mornings at dawn, they finally paid out. And that scholarship was the master key that unlocked his future. Fast forward years later, and Arjun, the boy whose family couldn't afford food, the boy who studied under a flickering street lamp, is now a successful pilot. He's sitting proudly right there in the cockpit of a commercial airplane, smiling brightly, looking out at the clouds visible through the windows. He's literally above it all, fulfilling the exact dream that everyone in his village once laughed at. Section 6. The meaning of success.
So the crucial point is, this entire incredible journey distills down into one simple, profound moral, and I really want you to let this sink in. Success is not about how many times you fail, it's about how many times you get back up and keep moving forward. That devastating failure in the rain, it wasn't the end of Arjun's story. It was just a data point, a required stepping stone on his timeline to the cockpit. The failure wasn't the defining metric. Getting back up was.
Which leaves us right here. I want to pass this directly over to you. What dream will you get back up for today? Look, we all have that metaphorical rainy day, right? Where we're holding a failed result in our hands and just want to quit. But armed with Arjun's blueprint of resilience, what are you going to tackle next? Keep that question in the back of your mind as you go about your day. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and never stop looking up.